Yo, what is going on, my people, man? This is your boy, Fran 49ers. We have a show today with my guy, Grant Cohn. Sorry about the time it took for us to actually start the show, man. I had some things going on that I had to figure out. Also, my webcam was wigging on me, bro. So it took a while for that to stop wigging. But man, let me go ahead and bring Grant on in, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Grant.
What's going on,
What's
Trey?
going on, bro?
We got a lot to talk about.
We
got a lot to talk. So for people that are watching, I initially invited you onto my show. So I was supposed to be interviewing you and asking your opinions on things, but I use Skype and you don't have it, and you got a real good setup. So we're going to pretend it's my show, and I'm going to start the conversation by asking you. Yeah. So you know how I feel about Raheem Mostert. He recently asked for an extension, and I think not an extension, a raise, not an extension, because he got his extension last year and he signed for 2 more years.
Exactly.
He wants a raise. I think he should get it. You think he shouldn't. So why don't you lay out the argument against the Niners giving him a raise? I'll lay out my argument for it, and we'll see if we probably won't change each other's minds, but we'll see if we can come to an understanding.
Right. And it's not necessarily like I don't feel like he deserves a raise, right? The only raise that I would give him is basically like I would guarantee the money. That's it.
Okay.
There wouldn't be any more money coming out of the pot, right? Like if I'm George Kittle and I sit back and I see that, like I'm pissed because this guy just signed a new contract and I'm the 2-time All-Pro, just got voted to being the best tight end in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just what it is.
So it's just a bad look to extend to do anything with any player before Kittle is what you're saying.
Hell yeah. That's it. And it's not about the amount of money. I think it's the principle. You know what I mean? It's definitely the principle of how it would look to George Kittle and his agent. Now his agent can come back and say, hey, man, this dude is a dude who got cut by 7 teams. You know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't have been able to have some of those running lanes if it wasn't for George Kittle. And y'all giving him money already? Like, nah, it ain't supposed to work like that, bro. Like,
Okay. What else? You were saying that that running backs in Shanahan's system historically fall off when they leave, right?
Yeah. I mean, so I looked at so we're gonna go to the 2008-2009 season. Steve Slayton. He's a pretty good running back.
I remember Steve
Western Virginia, right? He was after he was after the Arians Foster era. First year with Shanahan, man, in that 2008.
He was before it.
Oh, he was before it?
He was before it. Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He in the 2008-2009 season, he had 1,282 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns, right? Shanahan leaves the following year. He has 377 yards and 1 touchdown, bro.
Yep.
377 and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Then Shanahan, he goes to the Skins, right?
Yeah.
He has Roy Helu, and then he has Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris is an undrafted free agent, bro. Well, he's a 6th rounder, right? So you might as well say undrafted, but he's a 6th rounder, right? Nobody knew who the hell Alfred Morris was, right? He had 1,613 yards and 13 touchdowns in 2012. Then in 2013, he turned around and he had 1,275 and 7 touchdowns, and he only played 14 games. This is a 6th rounder. Then, in Cleveland, he basically had like the same tandem that he does with the 49ers. He had 2 running backs. He had a 3rd rounder in Terrence West who had 673 and 4 touchdowns. And then he had Isaiah Crowell. Another undrafted guy.
Yeah. Did he have Ben Tate too?
Yeah.
I remember correctly. Okay.
Yeah. And he had 607 yards and 8 touchdowns. Then it's on to the Falcons. You got Devontae Freeman. He's a 4th round guy. He had 1056 and 11 touchdowns. Then he had 1079 and 11 touchdowns in 2016. Coleman also had 520, 8 touchdowns, and then 31 receptions for 421 and 3 touchdowns. And then, you see him leave and you see what happens to Devontae Freeman, right? He goes from having Nike commercials, Gatorade influence to nothing. Even Steve Slayton, he's playing in Canada right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Kyle just takes guys in his system. I feel like his system aids guys into getting the contract.
No doubt. Yep. And I think it's fair to say that Raheem Mostert probably would average more yards per carry here than on other teams. Although I think he would play well for like the Chiefs and other, like the Rams, the Saints. I'm sure all these teams would actually like him. I don't know how much they would pay him. Okay, so let me make the argument that they should give him a raise, and you tell me what you think. I hear what you're saying, and a lot of his value does come from Shanahan. No question. His dad has proven that for years. But for whatever reason, on this team in San Francisco, we've seen Carlos Hyde, Alfred Morris, Tevin Coleman. For whatever reason, Mostert has played so much better than them here. So
Carlos had 938, 8 touchdowns, 350 yards receiving, and two more receiving touchdowns. He ain't done that yet. And Carlos,
what was his yards per carry?
I didn't get the yards per carry.
3.9. So this kid's he's 28 years old. Mostert's averaging 6 yards a carry, including the postseason. That's pretty remarkable. And so he's not asking for, I don't think he's asking for like 8-9 million a year. What he's asking for is to be paid more than Tevin Coleman. Because the way it works in NFL locker rooms, when there's a clear pecking order in a room, running back room, wide receiver room, it usually needs to follow the money as well. Like if one guy's the best, he should be the highest paid. And if Tevin Coleman's making $2 million more than Raheem Mostert next year, but Mostert's carrying the ball most of the time and he's the starter, that's awkward. And it creates bad blood in the organization. And I feel like if you want to keep Tevin Coleman and pay him, if Tevin Coleman is worth $4.5 million to Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, or 4.8, which is I think what he's going to get, then Mostert has to be worth 4.9. That's not asking a lot. And the situation is the Niners could give him a $2 million raise. It wouldn't affect their cap that much. And if they disagree with that and say it would affect their cap, then cut Coleman. Because the way I feel is Jeff Wilson Jr. can do what Coleman does.
Hell no.
For $400,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
bro,
yes.
Why does Coleman JD Franklin, if my boy Grant is trash, you can get the fuck out of our chat, bro. Like that ain't what we do here. Like Grant has helped Niners all day, you know what I'm saying, extremely as far as growing our platform. So you can get out. But anyways, why does Coleman get so much hate, bro? He does all of the dirty work, bro. Look,
okay,
oh my God, I didn't even have to say it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Great question. Let me try to answer because I'm not saying Coleman's bad. He's not bad. He's fine. Is that the word? He's fine. He averaged 4 yards per carry last year. That's not bad. It's not great.
You carry the ball 300 times. It's 1,200-yard season.
Right, but he didn't carry the ball for him. But I'm just saying he's fine.
He only carried 137. Yeah,
but he's not. He's either not worth $4.8 million a season, or Raheem Mostert is worth a little bit more. So maybe you can make the argument, look, we're not going to give Mostert a raise, but we are going to cut Tevin Coleman because there's no way he's worth that. It's one or the other. The Niners can't say Tevin Coleman is worth 4.8 and Mostert's worth half that. That's just ridiculous. So either you cut Coleman and take a hard line with Mostert, or you keep them both.
Hey, I'm going to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. I can see Coleman carrying the ball 250, 300 times in the season. Can you seriously see Raheem Mostert carrying the ball that much times, bro, without getting injured? Let's be real.
I don't know. Oh, exactly. Good question. Not hard. He's never done it. So, but neither has Coleman. I mean, Coleman's never run for more than 150 carries in a season. So I don't know. Hard to say. They might both break down. But let me give you an example because it's tough for fans of teams to really ever sympathize with a player. And you're wearing a Niner hat right now. So let me try to explain this to you in a way that might make you sympathize with Raheem. And if it doesn't, just let me know. But say you're like an accountant for an oil rig company, okay? And you're a great accountant, but you're not risking your life ever. And then people who work on the rig, a couple of them get sick and you get pressed into service to actually work on the rig and, put your life on the line daily. And it's a whole different job and you're great at it. All of a sudden, you're the best dude they've had. You're putting up numbers. You're getting more oil than anyone else. And you're proud of yourself. And you say, you know what? I like this new job. I would expect that you're going to, pay me like a guy who works on the oil rig because it's a totally new job. And they're like, no, sorry, you're an accountant, but we're going to need you to keep working on that oil rig. And we're not going to pay you anymore. And we're not going to compensate you for having more risk, but we need you to do that. See, from Mostert's perspective, what's the incentive for him to play running back? It's only going to shorten his career. He doesn't get more money for it. He was doing just fine being a special teams ace. He could do that till he's 35, make $15, $20 million and be happy and set for life. If he plays running back, his career could end at any time. It probably won't go much past 30. So there should be some type of a little financial incentive. Here's a little security net. We appreciate that you're putting your body on the line. Here's $2 million, man. Two and a half is nothing to the 49ers. But that's all I'm saying.
It's a piss in the bucket. And I get it, bro. But at the same time, if I was a gunner, right, but I know that I have potential to get on the field and play running back, right, and get my name out there, right? You signed a contract. Yep. You knew, like, bro, it's like it's not like you get a contract and you sign it. Like they have,
it's true.
Lawyers go over this paperwork and simplify it and explain exactly to you what it is. You're like we didn't hear this last season, Raheem.
You're right.
Why would you do it right now?
But let me explain this to you. Like, so the agent, everyone's saying the agent screwed up, man. He needed to build in more incentives, better escalators, so that this wasn't even an issue. But if you think about it, first of all, I assume the agent did. Otherwise, he's incompetent. It's very hard for a running back to hit incentives in a Shanahan offense. And you know why? Because it's a committee.
Carries, like
it's with the carries.
Yeah, Coleman and Mostert both had 137 carries, like on the dot, bro. Like
exactly. So no matter, it doesn't matter how well Mostert plays. He could average 6 yards a carry, 7 yards a carry, 8 yards a carry. He's splitting carries.
Right.
And so when you look, he didn't start a single game in the NFL in the season last year. Why? He didn't get his first carry in the Super Bowl until midway through the second quarter. Why? Because the Niners, I'm thinking, expected this. They didn't want to give Raheem Mostert too much leverage in the offseason when he asked for a raise because it's obvious it's coming, man. He's a special teamer who's now averaging 6 yards a carry. He'd be crazy if he didn't ask for a raise. And his agent that's his job to be like, yo, it's time. So,
I mean, bro, do you honestly think that was the game plan, not to give him the ball? I think it was like we were so run heavy, like Raheem really couldn't do much against the Vikings defense because it was like a beefed up defense. They have big ass defensive linemen. They have very strong. I think they have a great linebacker tandem. Like
they do. They really do.
And Anthony Barr are like top 5
so
in the
good.
league. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And then UCLA guys, let's go. So I mean, right. So it's like he couldn't do nothing against those guys. Then you bring in Coleman and he has 120 and 2 tubs because he's more physical. He can do that dirty work, right? Mm-hmm. Then against the Packers, he just goes on a tear, right? And it's like the whole NFL has seen like we're going to be run heavy. So Kyle's like, no, we're going to be pass heavy. Okay. Going into the fourth quarter, Jimmy was 18-21, throw 2 tubs. Like it was working. You know what I mean?
That's fair. All I'm saying is I understand why he couldn't hit his incentives. And I understand why Shanahan splits up the carries the way he does. Yeah, but I don't think it's fair to blame the agent and be like, well, he negotiated a bad deal. Like there's nothing. What could he have done? Shanahan is always going to keep each running back's value down by making them split carries. So I think a reasonable thing is to be like at the end of the season, he didn't complain during the year. I mean, Mostert was reasonable, upbeat, ready for anything. But at the end, be like, hey, could I please have just a running back contract? Not I don't want to be top 10. I just want to be paid more than Tevin Coleman. Is that so much to ask? And I don't think it is. I really don't, because I don't see how the Niners can explain to Raheem, look, we like you, but you're just not as good as Tevin Coleman. Like, really? How? What do you mean? And I think if you could keep Tevin Coleman, pay him 4.8, keep Mostert, pay him 4.95, and you could still afford Kittle. I think you could. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, man, the Chiefs just did sign a $503 million contract with $6.7 million in cap space. Like, how? I don't know how they did it, bro.
Right.
But this is another reason why I'll tell people, like, stop worrying about the salary cap. I don't want to hear about it, dude. Me and you, we went back and forth with this, bro. And then you told me, like, in 2021, his cap hit is what, like 12 million?
Yeah. Yes.
But he's getting like 49 or something like that.
It's all backloaded, and because of the signing bonus, it keeps the cap numbers low for the first few years.
Right.
Yeah. So, there's ways to do it.
There's ways to do it, man. So I don't think that like worrying about the cap is a thing that we should do so much.
See, to me, it's not a money issue. To me, the reason the Niners are saying no is because Parag beat Mostert and his agent on the contract and likes to win and doesn't want to give money. It's like, dude, sorry. Yeah. I beat you.
Hey, and this is another thing we have to think about. So if Mostert does it and he gets what he wants, how many other guys are going to start doing this, bro?
Sure. And look, that's why the Niners, in my opinion, can't and probably won't give Mostert what he wants right away.
Yeah.
They might wait until September and be like, you know what? This was our timeline all along. This is what we had planned, and you were a little impatient, but we're in control. And now it's September 9th, and we just cut Tevin Coleman. We created a little cap space. Here you go. They're going to make him sweat it out. For sure.
Bro, you already know Tico's not going nowhere, man. We need to start, man. Let's start putting some love on my boy name, man. I Tico is my guy, bro. I don't know why.
Let me tell you something. From what I've heard, it's not so certain that he's going to make the team. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm not making from what I've heard, it's not so certain he's making the team. I'm not so sure about that, man.
Y'all just heard the Grant bomb? I didn't say this. The professional said this.
From what I've heard, it's not so certain he's going to make the team. Now, I've heard that, and I'm like, really? Because Kyle never cuts his favorite players. He loves Tevin. But everyone knows it's really hard to justify paying Tevin $4.8 million when you're unwilling to give Mostert a raise.
I can't ask you who told you this, bro, because that's your source.
I can't give up my sources. But I'm just saying, and I'm not writing a report. It's just one rumor. It's a rumor I heard.
When did you hear
this? This morning, yesterday.
How did this conversation come up?
People contact me. My DMs are open. People contact me.
That hotline bling, bro.
That's right.
So
I'm not saying he's not making the team. A rumor I heard is that it's not so certain he will.
Okay. So I made a point yesterday that I was talking about Stephon Ahmed. And I feel like, the Pac-12 gets like a lot of flack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, SEC. Well,
Big Ten.
The Pac-12 has 49 Hall of Famers. The SEC has 38. Like, bro, let's stop disrespecting the Pac. Like, we don't put out guys, bro. I'm tired of hearing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I watched Salvin Ahmed play this past year. I live in Portland. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. They run the zone stretch scheme in Washington, right? Yes. Same exact thing Kyle Shanahan does.
Yes.
When I say this guy cuts, he puts his foot in the ground and he gets upfield, and you see that 4.3 speed, bro. That's why I was like, I'm not too much worried about what running backs we have. You know what I'm saying? Because Kyle Shanahan will take this guy and turn him into another Raheem Mostert. You know what I'm saying?
No, when I watch Ahmed, I see Breida. To me, he looks just like Breida. He's got that. Because Mostert kind of glides. He looks like he's running slower than he is. Breida runs hard, super hard, and he runs fast too. But there's like a more of a violence to his style, and I feel like Ahmed has that too. He's a quick accelerator, short little choppy steps, and he's gone. I like him. He's really good, and I like Hasty too, Jermichael Hasty. And I like the kid from Fresno State, man. You should watch him. He's not just a fullback; he runs hard.
And he's an all-American wrestler, bro. He went to the NCAA tournament and he placed 5th.
I can tell. Bro, he loves contact.
He does. So, I mean, it just shows, bro, the 49ers are that team that can turn an undrafted guy into somebody who's going to get a $15, $20 million contract.
Here's how I think it'll play out, though. The Niners probably feel like they have an ace up their sleeve with McKinnon. Like, if McKinnon comes back and he's healthy, then they don't have to – then he's cheap and he's their guy, so kick rocks, Raheem. But the way I see it is that's wishful thinking. And I would, if I had to bet or guess, I would bet against Jerick McKinnon. Nothing personal. It's just he's missed 2 seasons with a serious knee injury. So if he's not himself or if he gets injured again, then Raheem Mostert's in a good spot because you're not going to go into the season with Tevin Coleman, Jeff Wilson Jr., and rookies. I think the Niners at that point will be like, all right, man, here's your $2 million. Here it is. You got us. See, if the Niners hadn't traded Breida, they'd be in a much better position because they'd be like, you know what, we'll just go with Breida. Breida averages 5 yards a carry. He's great. But now they don't have him. So Tevin Coleman, maybe he was hurt last year, but he did not have the explosion I saw from him when he was younger. Like, he just didn't. I think that was part of the – like, Breida has it. Ahmed has it. Mostert has it. So I think a lot depends on McKinnon. If McKinnon comes back and shows out, then Mostert's in a tough spot. But if he struggles, then Mostert – be like, hey.
One thing about Tevin, I don't think that high ankle sprain fully healed throughout the season. I think that was something that he was playing with, and that's something that hindered him through the season.
Does that partially explain why the Niners have had his back and haven't cut him? Because I don't know. If that's the case, then they might feel like, well, he did something for us, so we got to be loyal to him.
Yeah, I mean, the passing game was okay in the Vikings game, right? But it was okay. Like KB had that one touchdown.
KB was good. Jimmy wasn't so good.
Yeah.
Jimmy got good.
So without Coleman, do we win that game? Let's be honest.
Good question.
Raheem was getting racked up. You know what I'm saying?
What was Raheem's average yards per carry in that game?
Let's see.
I want to say 4.5. It's hard to say.
Remember, Raheem went out that game. He got injured. He didn't last that whole game against the Vikings.
I remember that. Interesting.
Yeah. End of the third quarter, he went out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Another thing with Mostert in the incentives, there were 7 games last year where he had 7 or fewer carries. That's tough, man. I mean, games where he gets six runs, that's not enough. So
yeah, I mean, hey, and it's like that's how the team could justify it. It's like, bro, like we appreciate what you've done for us, but like, bro, you're barely even carrying the ball. So Mostert had 12 carries for 58 yards. He averaged 4.8. Same thing with Coleman. Coleman averaged 4.8. Jimmy was 131, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. KB had the touchdown. Yeah, bro, it's hey man,
I just feel like the Niners are going to take a hard line now. Like they can't allow a player to make a request and get it right away. Because from their perspective, it makes them look weak and they want to be in control. But at the same time, I don't think they really want to go into the season with just Coleman and Wilson as their top 2 running backs. And I think if Mostert's patient and McKinnon doesn't come back, they'll probably work it out because it's really like peanuts to the 49ers. It's more of a principle thing.
Yeah.
So, and I know they'd like to just move on and on principle, but I don't think they're in a position to unless McKinnon really comes back and tears it up. So I think in 2 months, this should work itself out.
Yeah. You know? I think we're going to get into training camp. I think training camp, what? Does it start on July 25th?
I think they report on the 25th and their first day of practice is the 28th, something like that.
28th, yeah. So, I mean, I think they're probably going to wait a couple of weeks into training camp, see how McKinnon is looking.
Yep.
If this thing totally doesn't work out and Mostert is already like, hey, I just went out. Like
he could, dude. He could opt out of the whole season. And because like a lot of these basketball players are, it's like, look, man, like there's a pandemic going on. It's not just risking my brain damage or my knees. It's risking potentially spreading it to my wife and babies. So that's why he could be like, it's not in my interest to play for $2.9 million. All these risks.
So where do we trade McKinnon and then what do we get back for him? I don't want no draft picks. I need somebody that's going to play this year, bro. And it's like there's not a market for you, bro. Like you have to go to a team that plays its own stretch scheme because you're not going to be able to play in an offense, say like Dallas, where you don't have no fullback. You don't have a Kyle Juszczyk. That's the thing. These guys have to, bro. You have Trent Williams.
Yeah.
You have Daniel Brunskill. You have Mike McGlinchey. Like, bro, they literally rated us in the top 5 offensive lines in the league right now, bro. When we added Trent Williams, they added us. They said we're top 5, bro. You're not gonna have that anywhere else. You're not gonna have a George Kittle. You're not gonna have a Juice. Like, where's the market for him, and where could we possibly trade him to actually get a piece back that could be serviceable?
I think a lot of teams would like him. I think he'd be great on the Eagles. I think he'd be great on the Chiefs. Yeah, what are they going to get back? See, to me, all the arguments that the Niners make against paying Mostert could be used against them if they try to trade him. So all the things the Niners have said, well, he hasn't proven it long enough. He's older. He's a product of our scheme.
28, bro. Like
that's
what anywhere else.
That's what other teams can say. So if Breida, who's 24, averaging 5 yards a carry, brought back a fifth round pick, then what would Mostert get you? A fourth? Third or a fourth. So that's not worth it. That's not enough for the Niners to trade. He's worth more to them than a 3rd round pick. So I guess if they had to trade him, maybe they could throw him in a Jamal Adams deal because it seems, even though they already have Le'Veon Bell, who hasn't played well in a long time, it seems to me the Jets want, if they're going to get players back from Adams, they want players on offense more than defense. Like they'd be more interested in Mostert than Tart. So maybe they could do something like that. What do you think?
If you're going to lose a piece on offense, get better on defense.
Yeah,
that's my motto. Like if we're going to lose, so I mean, Kwaski, your contract is expiring. You're 6.7 on the salary cap. Mostert, you're 2.5. That's about $10 million.
Yep.
I mean, hey, Adams is making what this year? Like 5?
Yeah. If we were to get traded, the Jets would have to pay for half of it. So he's really cheap.
So, so like we would gain like $9 million, $8 million, by trading those 2 guys, and then you're getting a piece like Adams to add on the defense. Like, I would do that. Then I would
offer a 1st round pick and Mostert for Adams. I don't know if the Jets would say yes, but it's That's the first thing that pops in my mind.
Right. And then
because like you said, you want a player back, not a pick. They got to win the Super Bowl this year. It's Super Bowl or bust. Got to.
Right.
And that's why Mostert has leverage. Because it's like what he can say is, you can say whatever you want about me, but let's see how far you make it without me. Let's see. And that's kind of scary because why would you even want to find out? The whole idea is bring back as much of the team from last year as possible and win the Super Bowl. So do it.
Oh, okay. Let me bring this up to you.
Okay.
There's a guy out there who had his best years.
Freeman. Freeman. I know you're going to say that. Hey, look, maybe. All I know is Tevin Coleman in 2018, his final year in Atlanta, averaged 4.8 yards per carry. Then comes to the Niners and his production goes down. I don't know why. Maybe it was the ankle. Last year, Devontae Freeman averaged 3.6 yards per carry. That guy has run a lot. He's taken a lot of hits. His best days might be behind him. And I know you want to go for a guy like Coleman and Freeman who are experienced and have success, but sometimes at running back, those things don't matter. It's more like who's fresh now. And it's Mostert. Let me say something that's really controversial. Really. At this point, I would rather have Mostert than Ezekiel Elliott. I've watched a lot of Ezekiel Elliott, and Ezekiel Elliott's a great player. When Ezekiel Elliott was 22, he was the best running back in the league. But how many carries has he had since he's been 19? Thousands.
Like
thousands. They just run him into the ground, man.
And he has but this is the thing though.
It's not his fault. Not his fault.
With Zeke he has really good vision, bro. He's
great.
Very good at picking
good. But he doesn't quite have the burst that he had 3 years ago. And it's not his fault. He's taking thousands of hits.
That's true. Okay, but Juice running behind you, him running behind Juice, Zeke running behind Juice.
Oh, he'd be great. He'd be great. He'd be super great. Super great. But again, Kyle Shanahan likes his running backs to be home run hitters.
Right.
So his attitude is if I get you 15 yards downfield, finish it. Get the touchdown. And that's not Zeke.
Right.
Actually, I'm not even sure if Shanahan would want
Zeke. Yeah.
Not his style. Yeah. Not his style.
Yeah, because that's kind of like the style of Carlos Hyde, right?
Exactly. He's a better Hyde. They went to the same school. Yep.
Exactly. Same school, same body build. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Yeah. Anyway. I mean, I've really been going hard on Mostert, bro.
Yeah.
And one thing I never do is you don't count another man's pockets. Like
fair.
You don't have your agent come out and say, well, I want Tevin Coleman money. Like, bro, that's like sucker shit to me. That's something that you keep in-house and you talk to, John and whoever else and Kyle about, in the contract disputes. Like, you don't bring your teammate front and center and say, this what I want. I want Tevin Coleman money. Like, bro, that's not cool, bro. Like, do you realize like you have to go in the same locker room with this guy? And to me, that just rubbed me the wrong way. And once you say that you don't want to be here, it's like, really, is there any coming back from that? It's like, bro, we just went to a Super Bowl and now you're saying you want some chump change and you want to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? How is that going to play in the locker room?
See, that's a fair question. But I think also most players would feel that Raheem Mostert has an argument and deserves the raise he asks for. I think he has a lot of respect in that locker room. I don't think people look at him as being like, man, he's just a product of Kyle. I think they look at him as being like, wow, what a great story. Got cut by 6 teams. He didn't give up. He's a great story. And those are the kind of players you root for to get an extra $2 million. Like George Kittle's going to get his mega deal and his life will end up just perfectly eventually. Right. Raheem Mostert, I don't know. I mean, realistically, he could get hurt week 1. Career ends. He leaves the NFL with like $4 million in the bank. Probably 40% of that's been taxed. He can't retire. Now he needs to become a real estate agent or a car salesman. That sucks. That sucks. And the Niners should take care of him just to the baseline level.
This is the thing, though. Okay. If you have $1 million and you set a budget of $50,000 a year, you can live 20 years. You can live 20 years off of that, bro. Like $4 million is 80 years. Like, bro, you should be fine if you're smart with your money, right? But at the same time, Raheem Mostert was a special teams ace. I see him at the least being a special teams coordinator. Like, he will have a career in the NFL after being in the NFL. Like, he's going to be the guy that's going to be able to come in and talk to the younger guys or the undrafted guys or the guys that are low on the total poll and say, hey, look at my story. Like, I was cut by 7 teams. I went to a team and I balled out. Never give up. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Always
That's
show
right.
up to work. Never get in trouble.
Yep.
Stay out the way. Train hard. Work hard. Your dreams could
Treat people with respect. I mean, everyone likes Raheem Mostert. He's a really
he's a great guy. Like that's what I can't say he's not a great guy. Like, he's a great guy. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, he's a marketable guy. Like, we know you like surf. Like, why don't you go to some surfing company, bro, and get a sponsorship? Like, there's so much more things that these agents could be doing for these guys, and I just feel like they're not doing it. Like, he's a marketable guy.
I agree. I can't argue with that point. This guy should be making a lot more in endorsements. And when I was at the Super Bowl, the national media was obsessed with him. He was surrounded daily because he's a great story. I mean, might be the best story in the league.
Yeah,
he's like Kurt Warner. He's like Kurt Warner, right?
Yeah. Right.
He was nobody, and now he's unbelievable. So, look, I can't disagree with what you're saying, and the agent bears some responsibility. But all I'm saying is, from the Niners' perspective, they're being cheap and stingy and unreasonable because it's just like, dude, just flip them a couple of pennies because that's what it is to you and make it reasonable. But from their perspective, like I said before, I understand why they might wait. Right. Because if a guy makes a demand and they cave right away, then, like you said, 5 more players could.
Right.
So you make him wait, you make him sweat. Maybe he'll drop the demand.
Yeah.
You know, probably won't. But eventually, I think they got to make it right unless Jerick McKinnon comes out of nowhere and makes Raheem Mostert irrelevant.
Man. And so David he said Cali, Texas sucks. Now,
and the players know that.
Well, Grant, what we have to explain to these guys is if your home base is not California, you don't get California tax, bro.
No, you do because you're No, you do. In terms of you're employed in California.
If you live somewhere else, you don't get that tax bracket.
If you're employed in California, California will tax your income 13%. Wow. It's tough, man. And so that's like these players, they come from Florida or Mississippi where there's like no taxes, and they come here to like, pardon me, what? Excuse me? State's taking 13% on top of the federal. And so, and that doesn't even count how expensive it is to live out here.
Yeah.
That's why most players don't. Kittle doesn't live in the Bay.
No.
Kittle lives in Nashville.
Yep. I mean, even Mostert, I think he'd still live back in Florida.
Of course. There's one of the reasons the Niners kept Armstead instead of Buckner is because Armstead's from SAC. So he actually wants to be in California as opposed to Buckner. He's like, man, if you're going to lowball me, just send me to Indy and I'll make more money with less taxes. And I don't even care about California. I'm from Hawaii. So whatever. You know, I think Armstead actually wanted to be here.
Shit. California is closer to Hawaii than motherfucking Indianapolis, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry. I could do it. That's like, I call it NFL Siberia, where you go to a place that you're not necessarily going to like, and you're going to end up buying a property somewhere else, anywhere. Like, I don't know how anybody could argue against Cali, bro.
Let's transition real quick to Kittle. We've been talking about Mostert for a half an hour.
Yeah, we have.
You mentioned Kittle that you think one of the reasons they're not paying Mostert is they're prioritizing Kittle. Yeah. And yesterday, Kittle's agent came out and said, I trust that the Niners are going to do the right thing. And okay, do you think that if you ask Buckner, like if DeForest was on the show right now, hey, DeForest, what do you think the Niners are going to do about Kittle? Don't you think he would kind of laugh and be like, well, I'll tell you what I think they're going to do with Kittle. They're going to do what they did with me.
No.
Because
Kittle's not going to ask for 20. This is the thing, Buckner. Buck. You got offered 18, bro, and you wanted 22, my guy. Like, that's just not something that's going to happen, bro. Like, you went from 12.5 sacks to 10 sacks to 7.5 with a way better defensive line. Way better. As a matter of fact, D Ford only played a third of your snaps, and he had one less sack than you, my guy. Like, chill out, hold your horses, enjoy that snow in Indianapolis in the summertime, and we gonna enjoy these palm trees. You know what I'm talking about? So, I mean, there's literally no way. Like, if we wouldn't have knew about him getting offered 18, I think like it would have been more sympathy for Buckner, right? But when we knew, like, bro, you got offered 18. And you turned it down, right? And now you're getting 22. It's just like it's a give and a take. We started the offseason, and I know you've been on prog lately, right? But it's like we started the offseason, bro, with $12 million, and I think we had 19 free agents.
Yep.
We ended up with 20-something million. We got Trent Williams, re-signed everybody, and had a great draft. Like,
you're right.
I don't know many NFL teams that could do that.
Let me just say, Buckner, he asked for 21 because he's worth it, and he got it. I mean, teams are willing to pay him 21, so that's what he's worth, right? And he knows it. And the thing is, he's one of these blue chip players like Kittle, one of the best players in the league, and they know what they're worth. And multiple teams would love to pay them what they want. So why would he take a why would he give the Niners a discount? Especially when he gets taxed more in California anyway. That's the Niners' issue, man. They do really well negotiating with players like Armstead or Quan Alexander, guys coming off a career year or an injury, because the Niners have all the leverage and they win the deal. But you can't win a deal with Kittle. You can't win a deal with Buckner because they're the best of the best. They're not going to give you a discount unless they just love playing in California or something. Usually they're just going to hold out for what they're worth because they'll know they'll get it eventually. Eventually they will from some team. So that's why I feel like the Niners have a tough time negotiating with Buckner and Kittle and the Mosterts of the world, because their value is actually high. The Niners are good at negotiating with people who, don't have as high a value. They just don't. So they come to the negotiating table, and Parag's like, all right, let's check it out. Oh, you had one good season? Oh, you're coming off a torn ACL? Oh, man. Well, we're going to have to protect ourselves and create a team-friendly. You know what I'm talking about. That's Parag's wheelhouse. Let me bend you over a barrel and just ravish you. And then go back to the Yorks and be like, look what I did. I got another team-friendly deal. It's hard to get that team-friendly deal with Kittle, man. They can just wait.
Okay, my whole thing is this, bro. Right? Like, if you're going to be worth, if I'm going to give you 21 million, you have to be able to line up and down the defensive line.
I think he can.
Of course, Buckner.
I think he can,
bro.
I think he can. To me, he can do everything.
Have you ever seen him line up on the edge and be successful?
Well, they never gave him an opportunity. They put Armstead out there.
They tried to do it. They tried to do it when he was at Oregon. They tried to do it at Oregon, and they put him right back at the one technique over the center, bro. Like, he's not versatile.
Oregon was playing a 3-4.
I know.
Yeah.
So
look. All I'm saying is, to me, athletically, anything Armstead can do, Buckner can do better. They moved Armstead to D end in 2017, and it was a good move for him. I think Buckner could do that. Base end on first down. I think he'd be a better run defender, because you saw it. He was getting pushed around a little bit last year as a run defender, because in the wide 9, when you spread out,
punished in the run.
I'm telling you, he's 6'8". So when you go wide 9 and you bring out the D ends outside the tight ends, that means a 3 technique is going to get double teamed by the tackle and the guard on an inside zone run every time. And Buckner's not built to hold his ground. He's tall, he's high cut, he's lean. In Indy, he's going to get one-on-ones. So here, he'd be a better fit playing D end in the base defense like Armstead, and then moving inside and the nickel. Armstead couldn't play 3 tech on this team. He's too high cut. So they bring in a guy like Kinlaw, who's 325, almost a nose tackle. Kinlaw can hold his ground.
Hey.
Kinlaw is a better fit for the wide 9 than Buckner.
Have you ever seen a 325-pound man with abs?
No.
I've never until Kinlaw.
No.
I've never. It's ridiculous, bro. I'm so excited to see him play.
He's very strong. I've been watching him. He's super duper strong.
Ridiculous.
Like as a goal line defender, you can't move him. You just can't move him. He's a little bit like Chris Jones. Because Jones is big like that too. Like Buckner, what made him special was, first of all, his pass rush moves. I mean, he was
his technique. His technique
was graceful,
right?
So good, and then his conditioning as well. Like anytime there's a run down the field or a pass down, he chases. He plays through the whistle every time. And Kinlaw is 325 pounds. It's harder to play through the whistle at that weight.
Oh yeah.
So he's a little bit more like Chris Jones, who's also an excellent player.
I think it's going to be a lot of rotating DJ Jones and Kinlaw. You know what I'm saying? And that's a great rotation to have.
Yeah. Because again, Kinlaw can play nose tackle and did at South Carolina.
Yeah, most definitely. Yep. So I pose this question: do you believe that Buckner is his get off is faster than Armstead's?
I do.
What?
I do. See, Armstead improved. Before Kosterick is great with that. I wish you could come to practice. Kosterick spends time every day on a get-off competition race. So he'll have two guys line up next to each other, and then he'll just say, go. And whoever gets out of their stance first wins. And then there'll be like 5 minutes of that. Just competition after competition. It's a great idea because what I thought Armstead's issue was the first 4 years of his career was just awareness, like get off the ball quicker, stuff like that. And he did that a lot better last year. I thought he was terrific last year. So it's hard to say that Buckner was really better than anything than Armstead last year because Armstead played out of his mind.
He did. He was out of his mind.
He was.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. All right, man. What other topics you want to go over, bro?
Oh, man. Mostert is a big one. Kittle's a big one. We mentioned Jamal Adams.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about. We've talked about it a little bit already. The contract with Mahomes, and so I got into it. Wasn't necessarily the argument, but I went back and forth, and I was trying to explain to guys how roster bonuses are incentives that don't necessarily count against the cap, right? Because
yes,
they do.
Yes.
Because you like with Mahomes' contract, bro. Like you see his cap number,
right?
It's like minute compared to the money he's getting. So
that's right. You're right. It's salary signing bonuses count against the cap. Roster bonuses are different, and the Niners been doing it for a while with their play. They did it with Garoppolo. You're right. I forget exactly how it works, but there is some kind of like, technicality that they're exploiting.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
And just to have $337 million in roster bonuses, and you're, bro, I counted it all, bro. First year, 22 million roster bonus. Next year, 27 million. Third year, 34. Fourth year, 34. Fifth and sixth year, 38. Seventh year, 49. Eighth year, 30. Ninth year, 23. 10th year, 22. And 11th year, 42 million. Not that he's going to reach that, but it's just like.
See, I'm pessimistic and negative. I think this was a mistake, even though he's the best quarterback in the league.
Mistake.
I think it's a mistake, man. And I'm always the guy saying, give these players raises. It's one thing to give Raheem Mostert an extra $2 million. It's another thing to give $500 million to one player out of 53. He might be the best player in the league, but there's still 52 other guys on your team that you need to be good as well. And I've never seen one player win a Super Bowl ever.
Never.
So to me, they're going to be the Seahawks in like 2 years. And the Seahawks are a good team. They're respectable. They win 10 games every year, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl. I mean,
and they did, not this year, but by his fourth and fifth year, his third, fourth, and fifth year, his like the amount of money he's getting is going to account for like 28% of the cap, bro.
That's ridiculous. You can't win that way.
Hell no, bro.
Like the stat that I found that's just like eye-opening to me, it changes how I look at everything in the NFL, is that no quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl while making more than 13.1% of the cap. That was Steve Young in 94. So that was the first year of the cap. Ever since then, you've had to have a cheaper quarterback. And it's not because why is that? Because it's like if your entire team is about your quarterback, eventually you're going to come across a team that has a comparable quarterback who makes way less, and you're screwed. Right there, you're screwed. Right? I mean, that's the Seahawks problem. That's the Packers problem, is that they pay all this money to their quarterback, but then they come across the Chiefs, who have a quarterback who's even better, making nothing. Or the Ravens, making nothing.
Yeah.
So,
And when you look at, I would much rather be, and people might get at me for this, I would much rather be Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Broncos when they had Peyton Manning, or the Ravens when I don't even remember who the hell their running back was. Not the second time they won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, but the
back in the day when they had Jamal Lewis and Trent Dilfer. Yeah.
Oh my, Trent. There you go.
Trent Dilfer. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Somebody who is going to get the job done, but he's not going to take up all of that cap space.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you can win the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. You shouldn't be spending much. Oh, you don't need a great quarterback. You need a good quarterback. But the problem is, once your quarterback wins the Super Bowl, he wants to get paid.
Yeah.
And then Nick Foles ends up going to Jacksonville and getting too much money in his career.
We got $80 million.
It's like, well, what a So that's the problem. It seems like what you have to do is just draft. What I would do what Chip Kelly did at Oregon. Use 3 quarterbacks. And if they get hurt, you got another one. And you constantly draft quarterbacks and let them go after their rookie contract. Constantly recycle, use the Wildcat, use his own read, get athletes at quarterback, and try to recreate what Baltimore's doing. You can't get Lamar Jackson. But eventually they're going to have to pay Lamar Jackson, and then they're going to be screwed like every other team. You just want to have those constant revolving door of rookie quarterbacks. Kind of like what you think the Niners should do at running back. I think it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So there's been some Trent Taylor sightings the last couple of days. His route running looks very crisp.
Yes.
He looks very fast in and out of his cuts. Yes. How confident do you feel about him this season?
I think he's going to make the team. I mean, he got hurt last year because someone jumped and fell on his foot. It was kind of a freak injury.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he caught a touchdown in the end zone, and the DB jumped to try to break it up and landed hard on his foot with spikes. It's going to happen. So I think he could be fine. He's way removed from all that. The reason he didn't come back midseason is because the metal in the screw, it was all kind of like freak stuff that was happening.
Yeah.
So I think he looks healthy. I know Jimmy Garoppolo loves him. As long as he stays healthy, he's making the team.
Yeah.
And he's important to the team, especially when they don't have Tebow and Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah. But where do you think his what do you think his over and under on touchdowns should be?
Touchdowns. That's a good question. That's a tough one. How many touchdowns did he have down the stretch in 2017 when Jimmy got there? A couple?
I think
he had 5 games. A couple. He had one against Jacksonville. He might have had one against Tennessee.
I don't know. The most I think he had like 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
In 5 games? Well, I don't know. Bourne's their guy in the red zone. Kittle isn't.
Oh, no. He only had
the one against Jacksonville?
He only had 2. My bad. He only had 2.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4. 3 or 4. I mean, he's the third down guy, not necessarily the red zone guy. And I think back then when he was playing in 2017, he was the slot guy. Now they have big slot guys, little slot guys. So when they get to the red zone, they might take him out of the game and bring in someone like, Hurd or Jennings.
Yeah. This is what I want to talk about.
Okay.
On your how Raheem Mostert's situation might play out. You said you thought he was a top 5 running back in the league, bro.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I said that. I know he hasn't proven it. But look, if Niner fans can say Jimmy Garoppolo is a top 10 quarterback after 1 full season, then I can say Raheem Mostert's a top 5 running back after 1 full season. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Name the 4 that are above him.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Dalvin Cook is better than Raheem Mostert.
Yes.
Give me some names, man. Give me some names.
Mark Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is better than Raheem Mostert.
Derrick Henry,
my bad. Derrick Henry. Yep.
Melvin. Not Mark Ingram.
Nah. J.K. Dobbins is interesting, though. Mark Ingram is part of the reason that the Ravens didn't advance in the playoffs because he rushed for 22 yards against the Titans. I think Dobbins is going to take that job from him.
You think so?
I like Dobbins. Yes.
Ooh.
Ingram was the problem. I mean, Lamar Jackson ran for 144 yards against the Titans. What else could he do? You need a running back, too. Okay, so Derrick Henry for sure. Dalvin Cook for sure. Christian McCaffrey for sure.
Of course. Hell yeah.
That's 3 dudes. And then I'm sure I could think of one more guy who's better than Mostert. I'm sure I could. But
Melvin Gordon?
No. I'll take
Le'Veon?
No. I want the speed, man. I think in today's NFL, you want 4-3 speed at as many positions as you can on offense. And he's like it's like the shift in the NBA when it went from post play to 3-point shooting. Speed is the 3-point shooting of the NFL, and it's so valuable. I would take him over these guys who can grind out 4.5 yards of carry and carry the ball 250 times a season. I don't care about how many times you can carry.
Right.
Give me a guy who can hit the home run.
You know what, bro? Now that we're actually talking about it, it was kind of hard to name more.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put Elliott there.
Okay, Saquon. Okay, yeah, guys, Saquon. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Saquon for sure.
For sure. But It's not.
Yeah.
No, Alvin Kamara is not better than Raheem Mostert right now. It's like
He didn't show it last year.
You seen what we did to him? Like,
Yeah.
he was fumbling. He was scared to catch the ball. He was alligator arm and stuff. Like Kamara, like the year before last year, like Kamara, like the previous 2 years, hell yeah. But right now, I can't see it.
And that's the thing with running backs. You have to judge them now because what they did 2 years ago, I mean, how many hits have they taken since then?
Exactly.
I mean, what shape are they in compared to since then? So
yeah.
So it sounds crazy, but it's not as crazy.
It's not far off, bro. It's really not far off. Man, and this is why I like bringing Grant on, and this is why I like having conversations with him on a public forum, because he 9 times out of 10, like me and Grant always have different views on shit. You know what I mean? Like all the time. Like sometimes we agree, sometimes like you'll see me and Grant going back and forth for like 15 minutes on Twitter just yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's good to have these conversations because you get a different point of view, and then it kind of brings you close to what the real point is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Because I have my biases, you have your biases, and by expressing them to each other, we kind of see what maybe the truth might be in the middle. I totally agree. Yep.
Most definitely. Bro.
And I like having my assumptions challenged. Everyone should feel that way.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, bro. Well, I definitely
good stuff
coming on, bro.
I was supposed to be hosting you, but next time I will. I appreciate you doing this. And send me the video.
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna have Bronze download it, bro, and we'll send it to you.
Appreciate it, man.
All right,
man.
Peace.
Oh,
man, what's going on? Oh, Mike, do you have some words you want to say, bro? Like, I'll send you the link, like right now, bro. Like literally, I'll send you the link. If you want to come on, Mike, I'll send you the link, bro. If you want to come on, as a matter of fact, hold on. Let's share the screen, bro. So y'all see, I ain't playing with I ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious about this thing, bro. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'll bring you on, Mike. You know, I will definitely bring you on, brother. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? We definitely appreciate everybody for coming on, bro. I don't have much going on today. Might hit the gym a little bit later. I'm gonna see if Mike wants to come on. I just sent him the StreamYard link. And you know what I'm saying? We'll see what's going on, man. I'm driving. Oh, okay. He's driving right now. Can't. It's too loud. Yeah, man. So looks like that's the end of the show. We appreciate you guys coming out. I actually want to give somebody a shout out, man. Let me give a shout out to Roculins on Twitter. He DM'd me after the show yesterday, man. And what he did is, I don't know if you guys can see that. That is a Brian Young autographed and authenticated picture that's framed that he is actually sending out to us. And we're going to do another fan giveaway. I think we're really close to 500 subs. And we're going to save that and a jersey. You know, this is a piece of treasure, bro. This is Brian Young. He just went to the, Niners Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I don't understand how you could be a defensive tackle, have 90 sacks, which is very hard to do. He averaged basically 8 sacks a season for a long time. And he's not in the Hall of Fame. But we're going to have that for you guys as a fan giveaway, and I think we're going to wait until we get 1,000 subs. And you'll have a jersey, which I think is going to be a Kendrick Bourne signed autograph jersey, and we're going to have Brian Young autograph a picture that's framed and authenticated. It's not that fake shit. So shout out to Roculins for doing that and donating that to the show, man. We appreciate you guys for rocking out with us. Bronze will be back on Sunday. We are doing the fan interaction show, bro. We are, Mike. We're doing the fan interaction show on Sunday. My brother Bron will be back. What we're going to do is we're going to announce the show. And when we announce it, you guys go to the comment section. You know how we post, the banners, and then we post the showtime and all of that good shit on Twitter. So what you do is when we post that on Sunday, you guys go and comment underneath. And if you want to be on the fan interaction show, all you have to do is comment. We'll inbox you, and then we'll send you the link, and you come on, man, and you toss us any question you want, as long as it's about 49ers football or, just subjects on the NFL as of currently right now. And, man, we'll shoot the shit. The fan interaction show is very important to us. We've been doing this for going on 5 weeks, man, and we, are like up to like close to 7,000 views, and we're like a few subscribers away from 500. You know what I mean? So go subscribe, man. We appreciate you guys rocking out with us. We appreciate Grant Cohn. Shout out to my brother Bron. Like I said, we'll be all back on Sunday. The whole Niners all day crew, man. So peace out, man. Stay safe. Wear your mask, man. Don't be on, on Twitter or YouTube looking crazy, bro. Even if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for somebody else. That you could be asymptomatic, bro, and not even know that you have it, and get somebody else sick and they pass. My uncle, he's in the union, man. He just found out that he's asymptomatic and he had it, and they live in a huge house with my grandmother, my aunt, and my older cousin, and they're isolating right now. He didn't even know he had it. He was just going around like his regular days, just working, not having any complications with his breathing, no loss of smell, no loss of taste, none of that, man. And he had it. So I can't even go see my grandmother right now. So this shit is extremely serious, guys. It seems like it doesn't affect you until it happens to you, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's happening to my family as we speak. So, wear a mask, man. We love y'all. We're going to see y'all on Sunday. All right. Peace out.